if somebody was there, could have been killed. Actually, one of his kids got shrapnel in another bombing that happened many yards away, and he got shrapnel on his body, and he got treatment. The message here is no one is safe in Gaza. And when the Israelis throw these leaflets and say, okay, you have to leave, it's not like leaving Minneapolis and going to St. Paul. There's Israel that controls 3 sides of the Gaza Strip, which is an open-air prison, and then there's the sea, and unfortunately the Egyptians control the other exit point of Gaza, and the Egyptians are not opening that for anybody. So there's nowhere to go. For the Palestinians, they die 100 times a day. Actually, some of my nieces on Facebook have been saying that, when is death coming? When are we going to die? And the only exit out of here is the grave. And people have been traumatized, they have been dehumanized, and the suffering is immeasurable. Once this aggression stops, everyone will be able to see the extent to this aggression. And we all have to band together and do something about, and the first steps, as you are here all to support, is the boycotting and divestment and sanctions against the Israeli regime, to give them a wake-up call that this is going to hurt you as much as you're hurting, or somehow as much as hurting others. And unless you change your ways, there will never be peace or justice or any peaceful solution for this conflict. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Imagine, I think, having the unity today of at least 50 organizations or more today to stand together. I think that is itself an accomplishment. But I think in reality we have to understand that the reason why the media did not come today is that we have a lot of work ahead of us. And we have to recognize that, and this is just a small step in many steps that need to be taken as in the weeks coming, in the days, in the hours, to wake average Americans, average Minnesotans, to recognize that what is happening in Gaza and the attacks on the civilians is unacceptable and has to be stopped. I was with Senator Franken, and when the question was posed to him, the first words that came out of his mouth was that Israel has a right to defend itself. And that narrative needs to end. Yeah. We are a society that has valued the sanctity of life, and in any conflict, the third person who comes upon that conflict must first thing of all, call an end to the conflict. And I think 1,000 civilians killed, on top of that, the thousands of more who are injured, and on top of that, the thousands who are now have fled, have no longer homes, and then on thousands of orphans that have been created. This is a nightmare. And unfortunately, to see today that the media has chosen otherwise, or other stories more important than this, is a sign that the 50 organizations today, our work doesn't stop with this press conference. And with that, there's 2 more events I just would like to announce. On August the 7th, Al-Amal School is having an event on Gaza with a discussion on how youth and communities can work together. That event will be on August 7th. If you would like to get more information, you can contact Sister Nadia Waswas. Nadia, yep, back there. You can talk to her more about that event. In addition, August the 10th, there will be an event in solidarity with Gaza, a humanitarian pledge, support from Minnesota. It will be held in the Minneapolis Boulevard Hotel, the formerly Crown Plaza, which is in Brooklyn Center. The event begins at 5 p.m. It features Dr. Farouk As-Samara'i, Brother Safa Sarsouri, who is from Zakat Foundation, and others. And that event is free. So I would like to just conclude our press conference. As mentioned today, we are going to be the media. If the media refuses to be here, we will be the media. And all it takes is for a conversation to start when you go back to work today, and with your neighbors, and continue the dialogue. and the effort will continue until we call for peace and end to killing of civilians, no matter where they are. But today, in these hours, in the minutes that we've just started, I don't know how many people have been lost and how many people have been maimed through the attacks by Israel that yet we have been able to declare an end to. So thank you very much for all of you coming, and that's the end for today's press conference. Thank you.